Okay, here's another tutorial. We're going to be making this piece today. This is called Aftermath. It's a piece that I have on my website. I'm just wrinkling it here. We're doing the back first. You're going to want to get this, nice and tight. Don't try to get it too perfect. It's the imperfections that make it unique. That's what this handmade streetwear is all about. So, kind of just, wrinkle it, play with it a little bit. I kind of like pull it from each end to get these long ones, these long runs here. And I'm just kind of straightening it out. You don't want crazy wrinkles in it, unless that's the effect that you want. This is just not what I want here. I want straight lines, continuous lines. I want to try to get them as continuous as possible. If you get a few breaks in your lines, that's fine. You're going to want to, grab a few pieces to practice on anyway. It took me a couple before I really got the hang of this. But you definitely want to do these sleeves the same way. And here's the Tulip fabric spray paint. And I'm just going to go in lines here. You can do it all one solid color. Right here, this piece is two different colors. It's black and red. So I went with the red first. Here we go with the black now. Keep your can about, 8 inches away. That's what I like. Any farther away from that, you're just going to be wasting paint. Try to get it as even as possible. If you got a couple blotch spots, that's totally fine. You're never going to see that when you pull this shirt apart. There we go. See that? It's pretty dope. Flip it around now. We're going to put the transfer on the front. I have tutorials on, how to lay a transfer. If you want to see them, you can refer to those. So now with this, I kind of want to do the same line method that I did on the back around the sides. Just keep playing with it, until you get the desired effect. Like I said with the sleeves, I'm trying to match it up a little bit. It's not going to be perfect. You just don't want any crazy breaks, because right there on the sleeve is where you're going to be seeing it on the side of your arm. So you don't want it to be, stupid looking. But like I said, imperfections is what makes the piece. So don't go too crazy about it. Just be aware of where it's going to land. Now on the top of this, it kind of, looks a little bit like flame. I got some pieces where I make it look like it's like a flame. This is just going to be kind of waving around the transfer. Here we go again with the Tulip fabric spray paint. And this fabric spray paint is awesome. Once you wash it once, it softens right up. I'm running out of paint here, so I had to grab another. I only had a few cans of this left. Here we go. Almost time for the black. I think this is the piece at some point I just ripped the nozzle right off of the can, and I got, as much out of the can as I could. If you use these, several times, they do tend to clog up a little bit, so just be aware of that. When you're done using it, you can tip the can upside down and spray it for about 5 seconds. That helps prevent clogging. Here we go. There's the reveal. I love this piece, man. This is one of my best sellers. I'm going to tape off this mouth because it gives me a clean peel, so I can peel it in one shot. You'll kind of see what I'm talking about. If I didn't tape it right here, that bottom part of the X would have stuck, and that's what rips my stencil. So I used the Gildan hammer. I really love those shirts. They're thicker and very soft. Now you always want to heat press, this paint, this fabric paint. You heat set it. You can use a heat press or you can iron it. Heat press is better because, it's a lot quicker If you're going to iron it, you're going to have to iron that thing for like 20-30 minutes, but it works. You can use parchment paper and an iron if you don't have a heat press. But definitely you want to do both sides. I mean, technically, I'm sure when you heat press the front, you're going to be heat setting both sides. I just like to be thorough and leave no room for error. Just make sure you heat set every part of the garment. If you think that you might have missed any section, just heat set it again. Once you heat set it, this will not come out in the wash. It is permanent. After washing it, you'll notice that it softens right up. There it is.